Out in the holy halls and clandestine chapels of the Vatican, the church fathers say clearly, there is no such thing as a ghost. But I have my doubts. They have pored over the scripture and from it derived dogma, it's true. They are right to say that Hebrews 9:27 declares that man is destined to die once and after that to face judgment. And Luke does tell us that when the rich man looked up from hell at the spirit of Abraham and begged him to visit the living and warn them of the cost of greed, Abraham said that a great chasm separated heaven from everything else. But the church fathers say something else too. When they are not assuring us that the dead are gone to live with the Father forever, when they are not gesturing towards veils and promising that graves dug deep cannot be undone, when they are not reducing every spiritual encounter to angels or demons with no room for anything in between, they say something else. Do not try to contact the dead. Now, I find that peculiar, don't you? If there were no such thing as a ghost, if the wall between this world and the next were so firm, so impermeable that those that passed could never return, then there would be no harm in trying to make that connection. I know, 2 Corinthians 11, even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. Yes, there is a chance that those who wish to contact the dead would reach out to hell instead. But, and I know I risk my collar for saying what I am about to say, Bluff City needs to be realistic. Instead of pretending that no one will attempt to reach across that dark chasm, we need professionals ready for whatever happens when they inevitably do. Welcome to Friends at the Table, an actual play podcast focused on critical world building, smart characterization, and fun interaction between good friends. I'm your host, Austin Walker. Joining me today, Andy Clare.
Hi, that's me. You can find me on Twitter at Captain Trash, and I also am an editor over at videogamechoochoo.com.
Ali Akampora.
Hi, my name is Alicia Akampora. You can find me at Ali_Wes, and you can go follow the show over at Friends_Table.
And Art Martinez Tebble.
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at atebble, and honestly, most of what I'm doing these days is calling accountants and lawyers on behalf of Friends of the Table, so you can check me out in Los Angeles doing that, I guess.
And as always, thank you so much for supporting us. If you're listening to this, that means that you are making this possible by supporting us at our Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/friends_table, I think, or forget that one. Just go to friendsathetable.cash. That's the one that you should tell your friends to support us. If, for instance, you're in a car ride listening to this episode with them and they're like, oh, wow, that's really funny. How do you listen to this? Just tell them friendsathetable.cash and that would be great.
And then, subtly suggest that they owe us $5.
Yeah. By the way, you owe them money now, is what you should say. That's how it works.
You're stealing from us with your ears.
Which is, frankly, an accomplishment. So, good job. Today, we are going to play a game called Inspectors, but not spelled the way you think. There's no O in this inspection. It's inspectors like specters, like a ghost, like specters, or like a Mass Effect secret agent. Ooh. Inspectors. It is a game by Jared Sorensen, and its apparent the tagline is "Fighting the Forces of Darkness, so you don't have to." It's sort of like Ghostbusters meets like The Office is kind of like the very quick and dirty pitch. It is like you are playing a startup ghost fighting or kind of paranormal investigation company. And you are trying to, keep the books balanced and deal with shitty, bureaucracy, and also deal with the paranormal cases that come across your desk. I'm very excited to play it. It's a game I've wanted to play for a long time, so we should just dive into this. The first step is to create characters. So first and foremost, you should come up with a name and basic personality for your character. It helps to also come up with their former occupation, even if that occupation is just like couch potato. The key with this stuff is really to keep it mundane. Even though this is a game in which there might be demons and ghosts and vampires and all sorts of supernatural things, a la Ghostbusters or the real Ghostbusters cartoon show, first and foremost, like those characters, they're people in the world, right? Peter Venkman was a professor who happened to like weird parapsychology stuff, right? Like, Egon is like a dude who likes technology and is a scientist, but also is just kind of like a guy who probably pays his bills late. That is kind of what grounds those characters. I think even in a broader sense, you could think a little bit about like the Angel TV show in this sense. They're definitely a similar paranormal investigation show. And that show was at its best also when it was just like, oh, these are people who are in over their fucking heads. Would people have character ideas at this point?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you said like we want really mundane people, and
Yeah.
and mine is kind of at like a 9.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if someone else wants to like go first, and then we could like all kind of forget that Austin said that, and then I could come back around.
Okay. I will say that one of you is allowed to be a quote-unquote weird character, which means someone who is supernatural or has some sort of weird, magic-y or even just super heroic element to them. But that is not a... there are downsides to that, is what I'll say. It basically means that you're not able to contribute to the larger goal in as direct a way. So something to think about before you dive into the world of the supernatural.
No, it's not supernatural. It's just like really high on the normal.
It's just very
scale.
Extra. Okay, I see a name from Andy Clare already.
Yeah, I've already got mine kind of figured out. I was just waiting.
Wow, Andy already has stats. Jesus Christ!
I've been sitting here for an hour.
All right, tell me about your character.
So my character's name is Sid Ruiz. My whole idea for them is that she's basically the videographer of the group.
Okay.
She's in like college, but she's home for the summer, and her stepdad made her get a job, and this was the only place that would hire her other than like the McDonald's without having to take out like her piercings and stuff.
Right. Good.
She's also technically the driver, but that's just because she owns a van.
Okay. Well, wait. Yeah. If you own a van,
that's her talent. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so we should.
Oh yeah, that's part of the.
You don't own a van yet.
We'll get to that later.
Yes. You'll get to whether or not.
I am going to have. Her dad owns a van. Wait, can we get it? I don't know.
Who knows?
How about that?
We'll roll
I just
and
wanted to
find
put
out.
driving down as her talent because it was the only thing I could think of.
You didn't want to go the videographer route for the talent? So let me go over stats really quick while we're just talking, since we're just jumping into it right now. There are 4 core stats. Academics, which is like, I remember a thing, or I know how to find this book, or I can read this ancient tome. Athletics, which is like, I can jump over this fence, or I can shoot this crossbow, or I can get into a fist fight, or I can climb this wall. Technology, which is like, I can use computers, I can use, other technologies. Driving would probably be technology, right? Like if I'm driving a van, like that's a technology role. Also, like weird super future weird tech is all technology. So like shooting the oh my god, have I forgotten the name of the power pack? What's the gun of the power pack in Ghostbusters called?
The
It's just a proton pack?
Proton beam? Is that what they're called? Proton beams, right? Anyway,
You don't
Slurpers.
cross the stream.
you don't cross the streams. Anyway, those would be rolled using technology. Proton pack, yeah.
Yes.
Those are used using technology, not using athletics. And then contact is talking to people, being social, talking to normal, everyday people specifically. Like, I think that is still what you would roll if you were talking to something supernatural, but like the book is like, this is how you deal with the world. This is how you deal with like the IRS agent or with the local librarian. Like, you need to use contact. Lawyers, all that stuff. And then there's a 5th thing that by default, every character should start with a 0 in, and that's called cool, which is both kind of like, oh man, you're a cool person, you can do cool stuff, like on a movie. It's also like you're keeping your cool. You are cool under pressure, you are calm under stress. Then there's also talents and characteristics. Every character should have a talent, and a talent is something that is tied to what your background is and kind of what you know and kind of that generally reflects a set of skills. And that's basically an extra skill point that you can use whenever it comes up. So some examples for them are like computers, car mechanic, football player, Star Trek geek, ninja training, librarian. And I think there's a really good example in the book of what you want here, which is something that can be applied pretty broadly. So I'll just read briefly. Finally, Mitch needs a talent. Actor seems appropriate. This is the character in this question is a college student who's studying drama. Actor seems appropriate, but not very interesting. Theatrical combat has more style, but it's a little too limited. Then it hits me. Theater major. Mitch brings his knowledge of the dramatic arts to the company. He can quote Shakespeare, swing around a prop sword, emote on cue, and handle a lighting rig. Cool. And so, like, theater major is great because you could roll that across all of those things. There are times when you could roll academics using theater major. There are times when you could roll contact using it. And you want something that's a little broad. I think driver is totally fine, but I would almost rather something that can really give you a benefit.
Yeah, let me think on it a bit more. I'm still kind of figuring it out.
Okay.
So we can come back to that.
Yep, sounds good. And then characteristics are something that will come up and play as we continue. Allie, do you have anything yet?
Yes, I do. I don't know how to write anything down still.
Okay,
you have to use the text tool.
Yeah, it's the text tool.
What?
It's under
the
eye?
paintbrush? Okay, see, I don't know what it looks like for you guys at all. I have no idea what the player side of Roll20 looks like.
Okay. I'm going to say what I'm doing with my mouth because this is a podcast. So, my character is Alexa Baker. She is...
Alexa or Alexa?
Alexa.
Okay.
She is a former over-the-phone customer service agent, and
she
also... what year is this?
Question mark. I mean, like, so Bluff City in general, I've said this before, but one of my big influences on Bluff City is Dark City, the movie that is like late 90s, early 2000s, I want to say. And so that movie's from 1998, and it exists in the late 90s, but also in the 1950s and also in the near future. And it just kind of blends together in a way that's like, there are people with hoodies listening to CD players next to people in like full Mad Men 1960s like outfits. And so for us, it's that same notion, but ranging from the early 80s through the near future, through like 2028 or something. And that's all happening at the same time. That said, there are a few key things that are like, I want to make sure that like that blend makes sense in a weird way. So like technology wise, I think everything is really clicky and kind of bulky. It just also can do futuristic things. The movie Sneakers is really a good example of what I want to get to. People should go watch Sneakers. Ghostbusters is honestly pretty close, which is like, they have big laser beam guns, but also they're big, bulky, weird laser beam guns. And there's just also a disparity. Like in the first set of Bluff City games, Sunny Veranda had a big, shitty phone, or maybe he had a flip phone, like an old, like flip phone that didn't do, I don't remember exactly, but he didn't have a smartphone. But I think another character just straight up had a smartphone, and that disparity coexists. So yes.
Okay, I asked because I was wondering if it was more setting-wise for this game for her to have a Etsy account or an eBay account that she sells crystals on.
eBay, for sure. For sure. I mean, like, maybe she has both. Do you know what I mean? But, like, weirdly, she does way more business on eBay than on Etsy. Like, we're at that moment where maybe, like, Etsy is about to blow up, but eBay is still popping, or, like, the equivalents, right?
Fair.
Or it's this weird combination, right? It's like, it has the good storefront of Etsy where like, oh yeah, this is a person's store and it's fun to navigate and it feels like its own storefront, but it still has like big blocky letters and like Comic Sans fonts. There's still a MIDI that plays when you visit Alexa's like homepage. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the blend I want to go for.
What's the MIDI?
It's something off of Carly Rae Jepsen's Emotion. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the thing.
Right.
Like it's that blend of what happened right this moment plus what's happening 20 years ago plus whatever happens 10 years from now. Welcome to Bluff City, y'all.
So that's
anyway. What'd she do?
I think of her as kind of like there was a lot in the like write up of this game about like, you know, someone has to make the deals and be the business person, and it's good if you're good at talking to people. So I think she's kind of that. She's still kind of like the like answering the phone and, you know,
She's like the
ironing
face
out
and,
issues.
like-
Yeah, sort of.
Gotcha.
I imagine her kind of like early 30s, kind of mousy. Spends a lot of time on like Wikipedia, that kind of person.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I should put some numbers here.
You should.
How many die do
You
we have to
have-
work with?
So you have
9
9
total.
points to work with, so
Okay.
long as you're not a supernatural person.
Okay.
So 9. Again, it's academics, athletics, technology, and contact. Nothing goes in cool.
Okay.
Everything has to have 1, and the max you can have is 4 on
Correct.
something.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Art,
Hey, hi.
how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Oh boy, tell me about your character. That's how I am. I'm curious, is the way I am.
Okay, so my character is Jake the Jackal,
Okay.
and he is a retired professional wrestler.
Okay.
And he's not like that boy Crockett got down south with the lizards.
Wait. Okay. Which is to say, he does not have a real jackal?
Right. And he's definitely not Jake the Snake.
I got you.
But he was kind of like an Undertaker type character.
So is he like an Anubis jackal or
Yeah, he was kind of like an Anubis jackal.
Okay.
Like they kind of like they didn't steer too hard into the Egyptian part because
Okay.
like no one really knows what that looks or sounds like. You're getting like
It's
you go
funny
too
you
far
say
and
that
you're a
for
mummy.
reasons that we cannot get to quite yet, but we will get there shortly.
I think I want to adjust his stats. I think I want to put his athletics up to 4 and his contact down to 3 because that's what I was sort of thinking. Like, he probably knows how to talk to people a little bit. He, was in this very like public facing career.
Yeah.
But it just like didn't work out for Jake. He never like quite got where he wanted to be.
Okay.
So, and he maybe had a dust up with a promoter and he just kind of walked away. And this is what he does now. He thinks that like it fits his gimmick. If he needs to get back in.
He could literally
This
have
is-
said he was a ghost hunter for a while.
Yeah.
Right. Here's what I love about you, Art, is you're forward thinking. We know already we're going to see some more fucking Jake the Jackal in Bluff City. I just,
Yeah, absolutely.
in my heart of hearts, I know it. Cool. So what's your talent?
Carney.
Okay. What's that mean for people who don't know how that's used as like a term in wrestling culture?
Well, like, because like wrestling has its roots in carnivals, right? Like
Right.
it used to be like you would go and you would see these two men fight, and they would fight for honestly like an hour. Wrestling matches used to be interminable and have literally nothing happen in them. But that's where you get all like the speak, That's where like kayfabe comes from Carney talk.
Right.
Actually, if you listen to, this is like the second time in a row I'm on here
It is.
plugging Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast. But he just did 2 episodes with Don Cialis. And they're both like just such old school guys, and they talk about like learning to talk Carney and stuff like
that's
that.
awesome.
But like it's his like he has a way of talking to people so they feel like they're on the inside.
Gotcha.
And there's people that he is on the inside with.
Right. What I like about that, though, is like I could also imagine a world in which you use that talent to make a technology role, where you're like, yeah, I know how rigging works. I know how how to rig up a lighting system, or I know how to I know how to fleece somebody. Like I know how to do more than just talk. I can also do all these other like hands-on things that come with being part of any production. So it's good. So we still need talents for Sid. We still need stats and talents for Alexa.
Tell me if this is too broad, but I was thinking this could also just fit into the backstory, is that Sid's old job was being a bartender, even though they're only 20.
Yeah, I think that's... I've been to Atlantic City before.
Well, I don't know if you remember this story, Austin, or anyone else who lives regionally. They had to like change the laws in New Jersey around the turn of the century because the turn of this current century, because there was this like law that let underage
Yes.
people work at strip clubs if the strip clubs
shit.
didn't serve alcohol.
Yep.
So you had like juice bars with like 16-year-olds taking their clothes off.
It was bad.
So like
it was bad.
So a 20-year-old with bartending experience is not out of the realm of New Jersey.
Right. In our New Jersey world, it was that same thing, except the law was bartending instead of stripping. So yeah, I like bartender. I like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And it's broad, but again, I can imagine it. The key is there will be scenes in which you get to say, oh, and I get an extra die because I'm a bartender because
Yeah.
there was this one time I had to deal with this asshole, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Allie, do you have any ideas?
No.
So she was a call center person, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. I honestly think that might be useful enough in some instances, right? Because like a call center person needs to talk to people, needs to know how to use a computer to look for like their call center scripts, right? And like needs to know how to research some stuff. I think that there's like enough there. You're hitting 3 of these categories by being a call center person. Like, I think that's totally feasible.
Yeah.
Unless you have some other cooler talent.
I don't want to just write that down, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah. Okay, let's go through these one last time just so that we say them all out loud in a row. So, Andy, give me name, stats, and talent.
All right, so I'm going to be playing Sid Ruiz. She has academics of 3, athletics of 2, technology of 3, and a contact of 1, and her talent is bartender.
Allie?
I'm playing Alexa Baker. She has an academics of 2, an athletics of 1, a technology of 2, and a contact of 4, and her talent is call center.
Okay. Jake the Jackal, Art.
I'm Jake the Jackal. It's academics 2, athletics 4, technology 1, contact 2, and his talent is Carney.
Great. Good. All right, so now it's time to talk about the business. It's time to talk about the franchise. I'm going to again read from the book here. The franchise is kind of like an additional character, except that everyone works together to create it. Time to put your heads together on answering the following questions. How big is your franchise? How long have you been in operation? And we're calling it a franchise because in the book they talk about inspectors as being like a national chain of ghost hunting things, but we're going to keep this local to Bluff City. So just think about this as like, how big is your business? How long have you been in operation?
Well, if we have a 20-year-old as an employee, probably not too long.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I want it to feel like we're not like a booming business, but we've been like doing it for a little while.
Yeah, a bit that I kind of love is the notion of like, I want you to have caught or have dealt with the Jersey Devil already, and then we never have to deal with it. It's always just like, we don't fucking talk about the Jersey Devil. We did that a while ago, and it's done, and it was a bad time.
We'll do it for the 5th year anniversary of Bluff City.
Right, exactly. We'll do the background. We'll do the
we'll
the
come back to
flashback.
it.
All right, so it's been a little while. Let's say, but you're not big boom in business either. You still have just like an apartment or whatever.
I guess we all don't have to be founding members either. Sid could be newer.
Yeah.
I think I'd like most actually if Sid was new.
Yeah, totally. Is this Sid's first like case, so to speak?
That'd be pretty good, I think.
All right, sounds good. A thing to note is that the business can have more people in it than what is here. So, like, there could be another 5 people back at HQ or 2 people at HQ. There can be other NPCs who could theoretically, if we ever came back to Inspectors, you could play as those characters. It's a really cool system because the characters don't level up, the franchise does. And so it's very easy to like pivot off of one character and play a different one for fun, or to kill characters off if that's a thing you're interested in doing, for instance. Anyway, I think we already answered this next one. So then third one, where is the franchise located? How many people work there?
I mean, located, I think we have that answer.
Well, but Bluff City is a city,
No, I
right?
know,
So like what
yeah.
sort of HQ is it, right?
I either want to be like on the boardwalk or in a shopping center, you know, as far from the beach as you can get.
That's still in the city, right?
Yeah, I want
I
to either be 20 minutes from the beach or literally with sand on the floor is a problem.
We just did a thing at the boardwalk, so I'm more inclined to lean towards the second.
Yeah, I like literally a strip mall. Like literally, like you're next to a ShopRite. You're next to like a grocery store.
A grocery store and like a pizza place and like a dry cleaners.
Kitty corner from a gas station, and then maybe like there's a Wawa 3 blocks down.
This is my dream. This is like, yes, please. Can take me home. All right, cool. Who runs the show? A board of directors or the agents themselves?
I think we have like a manager. We didn't say it before, but I feel like 10 is a good number for who works here.
That feels like a lot. 10 feels like a lot.
But
Friends at the Table is a business, and we only have 7, 8 people, right? So
that's fair. But I feel like
the Ghostbusters is 5.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we can't do 10. I'm just saying 10 feels 10 feels healthy. 10 feels good. I'm not opposed to 10.
Okay. I just feel like there's like maybe the one lady who like only works in the mornings because her kids go to school and then she has to leave at 3 to pick them up. And then like we have the one guy that we report to and he's like the manager, but he also owns like a hot dog place like on the other side of town, so he's not like around a lot. And like that.
And I want there to be some mystery with the owner, right? Like,
yeah.
None of us have met the owner.
Right. Okay, well, let's do that then. Let's do Nobody Has Met the Owner, because that gives me a good intro scene, which is better, actually. I like Nobody Has Met the Owner yet, but there's probably a manager. You do probably have almost like just a dispatcher, you know what I mean? Who's just like, all right, this crew, you got a case, go check this out. All right. Do investors, we had kind of just talked about this, there is an investor, there is somebody who runs it. What does your franchise look like? What amenities does it feature? So like someone comes into the front door, what do they see?
I feel like this used to be like an H&R Block.
Yes.
Yep.
And like we didn't spend a lot of money fixing it. Like we didn't spend a lot of money changing it up. It's kind of like that like loose bullpen kind of look. Mm-hmm. And like there's a front counter.
Perfect.
I mean, it's like newspaper clippings and like photos of staff like at big things, but like, and then there's also like the softball team we sponsor, like the kids softball team.
Oh, yes.
Oh, we need a name at this point, right? What is the name of the company so we know what the name of the kids softball team is?
God.
Is it just paranormal investigations? Like, is that all y'all do, or do you do regular investigations too?
I think it's just paranormal.
Okay. Rapidly typing in various sorts of paranormal societies and hunters and... God, Paranormal Investigation of NYC is a website. This website's bad, y'all. Oh.
I came up with a really good name if we ever need to start a bar based on this, but it doesn't really help now.
I mean,
we can use it as a jumping off point.
I just came up with Gin and Miskatonic.
Okay, no.
No, that's funny. I'm sure that's also already in the world.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, sadly.
No, we had like a marketing event where it was like at a local restaurant. It was
Right,
like,
exactly.
come here and speak to the team.
Uh-huh.
And that was one of the drinks that you could order.
Yes, totally. God. They're all gin drinks, and another one is just the E-Gin Spangler, which is like, they just changed the O in Egon to an I and turned it into a soft G. Jesus.
I think it's Egan. I think it's Egan Spangler.
You wouldn't say it. It's Egan Spangler and Tonic is actually what it says. It's the laziest drink name ever. Oh.
I don't mind sticking with the inspector pun. I think phantom is a good word.
Phantom's a good word. Ghost synonyms. All right, is it just ghosts or is it paranormal stuff generally? I mean, we already talked about the Jersey Devil, so it has to be slightly broader.
Yeah.
But Phantom
I
is
don't
still
want to
fine.
close any doors.
Right.
Yeah.
True. All right, let's look at words. Here we go. I like
Beasts and booze.
That's another bar. That's another bar. Beasts and booze is another bar. I like using I guess none of you are super academic, right? It's like I was just like, I like having like metaphysical in the word in the name. Do you know what I mean? Like a little too.
Well, there's 7 other people. Someone might
true,
be.
true.
Also, we could we don't have the stat academic, but we could sure pretend that we are.
What's amazing is the kid, Sid, has 3 in academics, which makes her the smartest character here, which is good.
I purposely went low to make sure that wasn't actually a character trait.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, we should all definitely have diplomas, right? We're all certified.
Right. Absolutely.
Ghost
we
inspectors
just take,
from
a fucking 4-hour seminar and then some on-the-job training.
Totally.
And we have some it's got some hamburger university type name.
God.
All right. Continuing to search things.
We got a never mind. PH dead. That's what I was going to say.
Shut the fuck up.
Fuck
Yep.
off.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is killing me. Names are hard, it turns out.
Where do businesses called?
Well, that's what, like, the thing I'm looking at now is, like, what do actual private eyes name their companies, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do actual private investigators called?
Or like bail bondsman?
Yeah, also
Because that's like
yes.
a frequent like strip mall business that needs to
Yes.
have like a catchy name.
Totally. All right, here's Yelp 10 best bail bondsmen for 2017 in Atlantic City or Atlantic County.
Oh.
Oh, these actually have terrible names, FYI. Jump Out Bail Bonds, Boardwalk Bail Bonds.
I like one that just suggests that you are going to not return to court.
Yeah.
So I googled paranormal services.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And-
That's already good. Paranormal Services is already
Yeah.
exactly on point. But
Right.
continue.
It seems like a lot of them call themselves Paranormal Research Society or
Ooh.
like something like that.
Uh-huh. Oh, you know what's a good word? Is esoteric. That's one of my favorite words for because it's just like, what's that mean? We don't. It's just a lot of weird stuff.
I feel like that's booky.
It's
Esotectives.
bad.
Thank you, Art.
What if it's just? I mean, I like paranormal services as like the last two things.
Yeah.
Maybe just. What if it's just two names? Up top, or well, no, because I know who the secret investor is, and I don't want to. Maybe unless it's a front, unless the other names on it are. There's someone near me here called like Papas and Papas. Sorry, it's definitely Pappas, like a Greek last name, but I read it all the time when I walk past it as like Papas and Papas. Legal attorneys or whatever. I like those sorts of like J&R, paranormal services.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Because when you put
Oh,
your
but then
name
one of them
on
has to be like an X.
True.
I like that because I like the like kind of lawyer or like Celino and Barnes kind of thing. Like I put my
Yes.
name on this company and that's why I'm behind it and you can trust
Yes.
me.
And you can trust me.
Right, my name is on the
Yeah.
door. Like
Yeah.
Can we just be Celino and Barnes?
No. That's how we
Paranormal
get-
Services?
No.
no, but we can take their jingle. Paranormal services.
Paranormal. You know the problem with we can't take that? They're lawyers. They'll fucking sue us.
No. They broke up this year. I don't know who owns the song anymore. It is up
Ooh.
for grabs, I assume. That's how law.
Wait, they run those commercials in
Ooh.
Canada?
All right, can we? Yeah, how do you know those? How do you know that, Andy?
Because it's like they show them up here, like, because we're close to Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right, let me propose something that's really just nothing. All right, the Celino and Barnes is headquartered in the Gray Bar building, and I think Gray Bar is a great word. Like Gray Bar Paranormal Services is just like, what's that mean? I don't know. Or because it's near the ocean, it could be Sandbar Paranormal Services.
Oh, that's really good. Okay, I'm gonna pitch this, and I think
All right.
that like the name of the outlet is like Gray Bar or whatever.
Yes,
We're just Gray Bar Paranormal.
I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the name of it's like Gray Bar, like shopping center or whatever.
Yes.
And it's on Gray Bar Street, right? You know,
Yes.
like that's just okay, totally. And it's just Gray Bar Paranormal. Done.
Yeah.
All right. We did it. Thank you. And now we still have this great connection to Celino and Barnes. Please don't sue us.
Wait, 800-888-8888 if you've been injured.
Great.
This is not an endorsement or...
Do we want to go with Greysand or
Or
Sandbar?
Sandbar Paranormal, Greysand. Greysand's not bad. It's kind of depressing in a good way. Greysand Paranormal. Yeah, all right, sold. We can also go with Greysand Paranormal, and then it's a Batman reference.
Nope.
All right.
No one there would ever try to sue us.
All right. So follow up here. We already kind of talked a little bit about what it looks like. What amenities does it feature? And another kind of an extension of that is like, what type of gear do you have access to? What do you use for transportation?
Well, I believe we spoke about a van.
Yeah, we did. So Andy, I'm going to need you to roll some dice already.
Oh boy.
I need you to roll your technology dice to see
Oh, okay.
what the condition of that van is at this moment.
That'd be 3d6.
So you roll 3d6. Yeah, the way this game works is pretty simple. You roll 3d6, you take your top die.
5.
So top die is a 5, which I think means, if you scroll down here, 5 means good. You describe one fact that leads directly to solving the case and gain 1 franchise die. Don't do that. It just means, yeah, you have that van. You have your dad's van. What type of van is it?
It's like... It's not like a minivan, it's like a boxy van. Like, it's a proper van.
Gotcha.
Like, I think he does, like... He doesn't, like, do this as, like, his job, but he does, like, carpentry stuff in his free time.
Okay.
So he has, like, a big van because he likes to do things around the house.
Perfect. All right. What else? What other gear do you have? What else? What other amenities are there in this HQ?
I think that we have to have like walkie-talkies, like click on to communicate to each other and back to base, like hold up to our mouths. Walkie-talkies.
Give me a technology roll.
Sure. That is okay.
So you're gonna roll 3d6. So just slash roll 3d6, and we take the high roll.
Okay, and
That's a 4,
okay.
which is fair, which means describe a mostly positive result, but you must include a negative aspect to it. So you have those walkie-talkies. What's a negative to those walkie-talkies?
They take C batteries.
Oh, that's a real problem. That's a real problem.
But like, there's a CVS in the shopping, or like, there's like a Walgreens in the shopping center, so it's like most.
No,
fine,
what
but
if no?
sometimes it
That's
isn't.
not. What if it's you have to go across the street to the shitty gas station?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I've never seen a C battery in my life.
What?
Exactly.
Well, that's part of the
Look at a picture
problem.
of these.
They're like smaller D batteries.
You've seen them. It's
Yeah.
just been a while.
I haven't seen a B battery. That's the one that I don't ever see when I was growing
Do
up.
B batteries exist?
Maybe they don't. Why
don't
aren't
think
there
they
B
do.
batteries?
Well,
What
'cause
happened
it's
to the
battery.
B battery? What happened to B batteries by mental
That's the
block?
mystery this week on Inspectors.
You've already hit critical mass with the Googling this week.
We missed our boat on like a Patreon tier. We would do a podcast where we spent 20 minutes Googling things we didn't know about and reacting to
Oh,
it.
we still have
People
that.
love it. We should have.
That's just we all just do this full time. Is daily Google stream. Google fucking pay us. All right.
I have a thing, but it feels like too low stakes to roll for.
What is it?
You know, like, you ever been to a car dealership?
Yeah.
That was a stupid question. I know that you've had cars. You know, like the coffee machines they have in those where, like, you pay like $1 and then you have like 5 choices.
Yeah.
And personally, I've never got anything but just like coffee.
But there's also like hot chocolate and then like white mocha latte. Like some one latte drink that's way too extravagant to ever be made well by one of those machines.
Yeah, by like a machine that like no one's touched in 5 years,
Yeah.
and you're probably drinking more
Yes.
mold than coffee if you
Yep.
really think about it, but don't.
Yes. I do think you should roll for that.
All right, is that also
It's
technology?
always technology. Technology is also what you roll to get stuff, to get physical stuff, to get technology, to get devices, to get transportation. Hey, it's a 4. Okay. So it works. It works.
All right, and my negative aspect, that coffee machine's haunted.
Okay, you got it haunted. Okay, good. Haunted coffee machine. Good. Off to a good start. I read on the internet about this game. I was reading like forum posts and stuff, and people were like, "I just don't think my players are going to be able to get their heads around the notion that they have to get stuff, they have to do things bad sometimes. They have to like fail and have failure be interesting." And I was like, "Friends at the table, let's go. we ready? Lean into that failure." All right.
It's a mostly benign haunting. It's
Right,
not
no,
like,
it's a 4
yeah.
haunting, not a 3 haunting. If it was a 3 haunting, we'd have some talking. I'd be having some words about that coffee machine.
Or is that the way the numbers go?
Yeah, so the way this game works is 6, 5, and 4 are all successes, 3, 2, 1 are not. And that's also how it splits down the middle in terms of who has narrative control. On a 4, 5, or 6, you, the people who roll dice, describe what happens. On a 3 or 2 or a 1, I decide what happens. And on a 3, there's maybe something good, but it's primarily not good. We'll go over those as we get deeper in. Any other pieces of technology? Do you have ghost hunting equipment? Do you have like guns? Do you have like what do you do? Like, what do you have? You have a library filled with interesting ghost books. Like, I mean, part of that we'll answer in a second because we have to assign points in a moment.
Okay,
but just more technology side first.
Yeah, someone should roll for some ghost hunting stuff.
I don't want us to have like proton packs, but I like the little box that they keep ghosts in. You know, where they
trap?
don't like. Yes, I would love for us to have like a ghost trap.
What's it look like? Because I don't want to just have it be. Art just typed some kind of ghost spray? Question mark. Like, okay, what if it's like Dog the Bounty Hunter style bear mace, but it's for ghosts, or it's just bear mace. And when someone asks, like, does that work on? Yeah, it's bear mace. It works on bears. Like, of course it works on ghosts and werewolves and whatnot. Like,
bears are basically just ghosts, but like physical.
This is true.
This is true. Yeah. If that's where you want to go, but Allie, I don't want to cut you down. On traps.
Yeah,
I just want to know what it looks like if it's not, because I don't want it to just be their exact thing.
Let me see what theirs looks like to see if it's literally the thing that I think.
All right, so it's a little it's a rectangle that you throw on the ground, like you slide it, like it's like a curling stone.
Oh yeah,
and then you step on a thing and it opens up. It's really cool. Ghostbusters technology is dope.
I just kind of want this thing. No, but we can make it our own. We're professionals and we're good at this. And, I think that it's more of like.
It also can't be the vacuum from Luigi's Haunted Mansion.
Oh.
No, yeah, I don't want us to have like a suction thing. I think I want it more to be like a like almost like an area of effect,
like a roach bomb.
Almost, where like we put it down and like. Maybe then we like search the rooms and then like have to like I was gonna say,
does it look like one of those like Dyson fans?
Is it like a thing where we have to like set it up and then somehow like lure the thing over to it?
Or like the thing
Like
that I like the notion of is not just that you have to set it up and lure it, but that I like the notion that it takes time and like, all right, no one can fuck with this for the next 5 minutes while it's doing its thing. It's almost like, okay, let me pitch something. All right, this is maybe off into the occult more. In the old days, this would be a person who like does the whole like incantation and puts down salt and like makes shapes and all of that. And now it's a little robot who this is the one thing this little robot does. It's not like it doesn't have a face. It's just a little machine that you plant down and it just like runs. It makes like all the good like old school computer clicking noises where it's like trying to hook onto the internet or it's trying to like, you know what I mean? Like you can hear a hard drive spin up and then it just needs to run through basically a simulation of whatever an old wizard would have done to capture a ghost.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was saying area of effect, like where it's like, it's not like, it doesn't suck it in, but it's more like a sage robot. And then we have to like actually find wherever the like mystic energy or whatever the enemy is and then like deal with it ourselves.
What do you mean by deal with it yourselves?
Well, like either scoop it up or like interact with it or like...
so it like pins whatever is nearby down and then you have to go touch it?
Yeah. Or like makes it interactable.
Okay.
Is
like
this
it makes
too
it
wild?
physical.
Yeah.
No.
Then you gotta mace it.
We don't even know if it's ghosts. Like, I want to be 100% clear. Like, that's the thing about this. I'm not committed to it being a ghost. Like, I know what the way this game works is that we're going to start a job soon, and I'm going to tell you, like, here are the things that people are reporting, and then from there, it's going to become, like, you tell me what you find, and between the two of us, the four of us, we end up collaborating on what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it can do a bunch of these different things. Like, maybe we should actually broaden this thing out to where it is basically one of the things it can do is it's your like, it's not pocket size. Like, I think it's bigger than that, right?
Yeah, I would say like lunchbox, 2 lunchboxes.
Yeah, like 2 lunchboxes. I kind of like. In fact, maybe it's built inside of 2 old lunchboxes. You know, like wires and shit in there. And then you open the other one, and it's a little monitor. It's a little touchscreen monitor, but like a little like Palm Pilot style touchscreen monitor, like LCD. But it's bigger. It's like inside of an entire side of a lunchbox. And you have to like set that up, and it can run a number of possible like anti-paranormal things, but it might take different amount of time based on how you roll, for instance. All right, give me a technology roll, Allie.
Oh, sure, yeah, I sure did say that whole thing.
Uh-huh. That's a 5. That's good. That means you get what you want. Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right. I don't want to skip anyone, but I think I want to roll for Ghost Mace.
Okay. Give me a roll for Ghost Mace.
I have the right number of dice to roll for Ghost Mace.
Which is 1. That's a 5.
What the fuck?
All right, well, I'm trying,
I got a question
guys.
about the ghost mace.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Does Jake make the ghost mace?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it an old Carney thing? Because if so, you should roll one more die.
I mean, all right. I don't think I'm going to get better than a 5.
You make it a 6. You don't know. That's a 2, so no. But like, is that what it is? Is it like a thing that you learn from around the way? Like on?
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff, sometimes if you have the bad guy go over in the main event, sometimes people they throw a ruckus. You got to be able to put that ruckus down. So we got got our own concoction.
It's regular
also
mace.
It works on ghosts.
It's an all-purpose mace. Bears,
Okay.
ghosts, people, promoters, stuff like that.
I'm going to write
it
down
works on everything.
all-purpose, homemade ghost mace.
Yeah, can it just be like actual mace but mixed with rose water, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's because the guy who invented it, they call him Jimmy the Catholic. He always put a little bit of some blessed stuff in there.
Yeah, rose water and holy water. Gotcha.
I like the idea of Alexa being like, "Oh, do you want some quartz since you're gonna put the mace together today?" And Jake is like, "Sure, hun." Like,
But then he's sitting up there with his like mortar and pestle, like just like.
All right, I think that might be good for what we have here. A couple more questions. Is there any competition? Does anybody else in this city do paranormal investigation?
No, but I think there's an outfit out of Trenton.
Yes. Okay, good. 100%. So it's like, one of the things that came up during the Bluff City fiasco game prep was just out-of-towners. Like, out-of-towners. All right, so we were doing fiasco, and in the playbook that we had, there was all of this mention of, like, I don't know if it was Colombia. What was it? It was some other country. It was some South American country that the book just fucking had it out for. Like, the playbook we chose for Fiasco just constantly... It was Guatemala. It was like, those Guatemalans coming into town. And like, is that a thing that I don't know about Atlantic City? Like, lots of weird Guatemalan beef? And the answer was no. It was just a book. The playbook was made by people who were also not from Atlantic City. And so I edited it to just say out-of-towners. And I do just like the notion of, like, they're from a big city. They're either from Philly or from New York or from some out-of-town, like, group that comes in to fuck things up a little bit. So yeah, I like the idea of out-of-towners who have, like, a different ghost hunting op. Trenton is fine. Trenton's a good city. It's not. Trenton's a bad city.
I took the train there once. That's really all I know about Trenton.
Okay. And then, do you have a specialty? Their examples are ghosts, vampires, demons, cryptozoology.
I think our specialty is ghosts, but we're known for the Jersey Devil.
Gotcha. Which is probably, is that a point of frustration? Is it a thing where, like, literally people will be like, it's a ghost. We got to get those boys in from Trenton. And you're like, we're ghost hunters. And people are like, oh, but no, you did the Jersey Devil thing. That's, if we had a devil situation, we would call you in. But we need ghost hunters?
no, because I feel like if we were the guys who got the Jersey Devil, it would be like, it's like getting the Marshmallow Man in Ghostbusters. Like, since everyone knows what they would be like, you got to go for that guy. Right? Okay.
I'm sorry, you called him the Marshmallow Man, which is his name. But I so rarely just hear Marshmallow. I always hear Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man as like a single long phrase. And so just the Marshmallow Man really deflates that whole encounter. Oh my god. All right, cool. So now
very big.
It is time to put points into your franchise cards. What are franchise cards? Franchise cards enable you to add dice to your skill rolls, thus increasing your chance of success. There are 3 types of cards, with each card able to augment a certain kind of skill roll. They are library cards, which allow you to use a vast library in order to aid your research. Libraries can take many forms, from huge databases of information to snippets of folklore, bound into a 3-ring binder. So that's the first one. The second one is a gym card, which gives you access not only to the latest in exercise equipment, but also free access to firing ranges, martial arts dojos, and a really nice swimming pool. Not surprisingly, use of the gym card helps you with athletic rolls. Then there is the credit card, which is the corporate credit card. Access to the corporate credit card allows you and your fellow agents to buy cutting-edge technology and also to cover fees for technical training. Should I bother to mention that credit cards add dice to technology skill rolls? So you get to decide how many franchise dice you begin with. You could have 5, which is like a completely brand new franchise. You could have 20. You could have 30. The thing to know is I'm going to make the difficulty of this first mission twice whatever your franchise is. And the suggested thing is between 5 and 8 for a starting group. My gut says 7, but 6 would also be fine.
I mean, you're the one who knows how loaded our secret investor is.
He's very loaded. The thing is, he has lots of investments also. Like,
sure,
this could be a little. We'll see. You know, there's also, just so you know, a bank score, and bank is also takes from the same set of franchise dice, and that your bank points can be spent on any roll, not tied just to a single stat. The thing is that there is the chance for serious complication. When you use a library card die, you just add +1, you subtract it from the library card franchise dice, and then you move on. When you roll something from the bank, when you add a bank die, you have to look at what that die rolled, and then if it was a 1, 2, or 3, or 4, it kind of goes bad. I guess not bad. 4 and 3 are both just like no penalty, you lose the die the way you normally would. But with a 2 or a 1, it can really fuck you over. So, it's more flexible, but also has higher risk, like banks. So what do you think?
I don't know, like, I like before, I want us to feel a little established. Like, if this is a company that's been running for, like 15 years or whatever, then we should
15
have...
sounds super established to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, small businesses close quick.
Okay.
but yeah, 7 or 8 is probably right.
Yeah, I think 7 or 8 works for me. The other thing to know is this is how long the game will be. Because the way this game works is, as you roll 5s and 6s, you will be getting new franchise points, and once you hit the goal is when you can successfully end the game. So if you were 5, then you would need, and I would double that, you would need 10 5s or 6. You would need 10 5s or 5 6s to have enough franchise points to successfully close the case. If you pick 8, then you'll need 16. And it depends on how dice go. Like sometimes you can wrap up a case pretty quick, other times you can't. So I would say between the 6 and 8 range is what I would say. Any of those would be fine by me.
All right. I mean, 7 sounds like it'll give us some stuff to work with, and also that we won't just be here until 3 in the morning.
Just as stats, a third of small businesses last for more than 10 years.
Okay.
So, all right. So let's do that. What number did you say, Art? Did you say 8?
7.
You said 7.
Yeah.
All right. So now, where do those 7 points go? Library, gym, credit, and bank.
And we could theoretically just put all in one, or
you totally could. There's no maximum or minimum. A young franchise could put all 5 dice into their credit card, but it's usually a good idea to split up the dice according to the strengths and weaknesses of your agents. Remember that card dice are not transferable. Once you place them, you can't switch them around on a whim.
We should get a pretty good library card because we're not great at that.
Yeah. I'd like us having like a database.
Right, like you're basically signed up for some international like BBS.
Right, we're like part of like a broader society of paranormal activities. Like we're not a franchise from a different business, but like
right,
we go to like
God.
conventions once a year, and there's like a newsletter.
Right.
Oh my god.
Right.
Oh my god, I want to do the convention episode.
Me too.
yeah.
This is the one problem with Bluff City is I just want to play all these games forever because they're great.
I'm going to. Okay, I don't think. With apologies to Jake, I don't think that we have a great gym.
I mean, Jake's probably got a heavy bag in his
yeah,
his house.
Like we probably all have.
Do you want to roll technology for? No, I'm fucking with you.
Like if we need like a pool or like weights, there's probably like a local like YMCA or like rec center. But I don't think that that's something we like pay for or is official for this.
The thing to
business.
remember here is that this is also a thing that at the end of the day, this is you get to add a dice to your card, and then I go like, or to your roll, and I go why, and then you get to say, well, this represents the time that I went to that firing range. This represents the time that I went to Tawny's dojo that she set up after the last game, or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think like a 1 in gym is probably appropriate, right?
Yeah.
1 in gym, 3 in library.
And then you still have 4 left.
Do you want to split it even?
No, we have
No, you
3
have 3 left. You have 3
Oh,
left. You have 3
okay.
left. I don't know how math works.
That's why we
2 bank and a credit. Wouldn't you rather have it in the bank than on the credit card?
I don't think that's how this works. Okay. Well, the bank is like everything, and the credit card is like technology.
Technology.
Yeah.
Which we're also not. I mean, I guess the two of you are both 3.
Yeah, having 2 3s is nice.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, we don't need the technology that bad. I'm never gonna get it.
We'll see about that.
We could have the best credit. We could get the platinum card, and I'm still over here like, can I hit it?
Just need these numbers. So it sounds
So
pretty
it's
split.
2 1 1 3. No.
No, it's 3 1,
1,
and then you have 3 left.
1, 2.
3
1,
1
2.
1 2.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, that sounds good.
I want a little more
3.
wiggle room with that last one, so we're good.
1 1 2. Is that right? All right. All right. So last step here. I'm going to line up these numbers. This is actually what I'm going to do next. All right. Last step is that we need to decide what your job titles are. It's not for, you don't have to do this, but although not integral to the success of the game, a fun bit of color is to assign each player a job title and some related duties. 3 suggestions as well as their duties are described as follows. Chief Executive Officer, who would be like the de facto leader. Chief Technical Officer, who is the person who would literally track any purchases and add it to the gear list. Chief Financial Officer, who would be the person who like updates the franchise sheet. But there's more. You could be chief of security, chief of operations. It sounded like Sid was maybe like some sort of videographer role.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alexa and Jake, do you have titles, or are you just investigator?
Director of Operations is such a funny title for Jake to have. But like it might just reflect his seniority. Like he's been here. He was here the day they opened the place.
Right. Like the book notes,
And-
chief of operations might just be a fancy word for handyman.
Yeah, I mean handyman's not right because he can't fix anything. But like he's been on a lot of he was on that Jersey Devils job.
Right.
Chief of Operations to me, though, is like, do you have like a clipboard that says like when we need to order a new box of pens and like stuff like that?
I mean, what if he did?
Yeah.
And that's a yes or no question. You should.
I got a clipboard at Staples. It can have whatever you want on it.
And also, you could hit people with a clipboard. That was before you were Jake the Jackal, you were Clipboard Clint, and you just beat the shit out of some motherfuckers in Georgia with a clipboard.
Crockett is the Crockett's where I said Jake the Snake was. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Alexa?
I want a title, but I don't know what it should be. Like something specialist, like. Should I just be like the receptionist? But I go on job, so it's not that.
No, you're not the receptionist. Yeah.
That's why there's 10 people, because there is a receptionist. So there's
Right,
two different, it's 2 different ladies.
Exactly. What if it's like things like Chief Strategy Officer is pretty good.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like Chief Risk Officer, which is like just a good ass title and is a real thing.
What if it's like CSO and people think it's Chief Strategy Officer, but it's like Chief Spiritual Officer or something?
Yeah, that's really good too.
That is really good. I like that a lot.
All right, good. All right, write it down.
Okay.
Where? Just anywhere.
Okay.
So, maybe at the top, maybe like at the very top of the index cards, you know? God, Chief Visionary Officer. Fuck off, capitalism.
I'm writing that actually.
Also, Sid, you should write Chief Visionary Officer on your sheet.
Oh, God.
I'll take
We're
it.
here for a week.
Actually, wait, what's this videography stuff for? Like, are you making it into a TV show? Are you putting this on YouTube? Or is it for marketing?
Yeah, I guess this comes down to like what the business was, but I mean, the whole conceit of the game with the confessional and stuff always played to me like it was making a TV show. Yeah,
there's definitely like it's supposed to have like a certain real world like or cops or I guess the thing that's funny is like Inspectors was made in a time before there were lots of ghost hunting TV shows. I think it was 2002 when this game came out, maybe? Yeah, 2002. So, like, that was 15 years ago. What is time?
Jesus.
And there are just these shows now. So yeah, that works. Is the first season, maybe that's like the whole thing is like, this is the first time that we're going to film this stuff to see if we can turn it. It's a pilot. You're filming the pilot episode.
It's a YouTube account. Like...
Well, okay. It could be both.
Okay.
It's a Daily Motion account.
You can find it at youtube.com/Greysand Paranormal, and Gray is spelled differently because someone already had Greysand Paranormal, and you can't get them to give it up.
No, it's Greysand Paranormal Official, because we couldn't get Greysand Paranormal, because they are located in Tennessee.
Well, I'm going to get Greysand Paranormal Vivo, just in case you ever turn into a musician. All right, I think that's going to do it. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with the opening sequence.
Does YouTube do check marks?
No. All right, BRB. All right. So, all games of Inspectors start with the starting interview. Well, the first game you play. Skip the starting interview for subsequent games if you want. This method enables players to quickly get to know one another and their respective playing styles if the group is new. It's also a great way to get to know one another's characters and for the GM to establish the tone and mood of the game. So, there are 3 types of starting interviews. There's an employee screening, which could be good with Sid here, but we've already established Sid as being hired. There's a media interview, which is great for like, hey, we've done this thing and now we're doing a media interview, but what we're going to do is the investor meeting. This is a good way to start the game if players have just started and their franchise needs seed money or they've been around long enough to get noticed by a venture capitalist. Typically, the GM portrays a possible investor in the Inspectors franchise, and the players need to come up with the reasons why the VC should part with their money. Again, this can be played straight and serious or whacked out as you can imagine. In one of my games, the prospective VC was a very tall, very pale man named Vladimir Rusatov, who wore lots of black and would only meet with the group at night. You figure it out, winky face. This book was written in 2002. This book was written in 2002. There's a winky face in it. So, it's different times.
I thought you were like, this book was written in 2002. Dracula was real hip.
All right, so I have to give you a little bit of background before we get into what this meeting is. There are, after the last Bluff City game, we know of one casino in the city, and that casino is called the Menagerie. There are probably 8 or 9 casinos in town, maybe 10. And 3 of them are all owned by the same person. Those 3 casinos are the Black Star, the Black Colossus, and the Black Millennium. Oh
my God.
The Black Star is out in the marina. So the way Bluff City works, there's the boardwalk, and that's where like most people think about Bluff City. And then there's the marina, which is to the north-ish of the island. It doesn't connect to the boardwalk. You have to drive out to it or take a shuttle. And those casinos tend to be a little more fancy. You can't just walk in from the boardwalk or from the street. And so they're like a little fancier. They're a little artsier. They're a little more like luxe. And the Black Star is there. And it has like a vague space theme. Then there is the Black Colossus, which the theme of that is basically I mean, it is Alexander the Great's empire, basically. And it has this gigantic Colossus statue out on, like, a pier, basically. And underneath that, there's a mall. It's basically Caesar's, but Alexander the Great themed instead. And then there is the Black Millennium, which you would think would just kind of be, like, generic. But it's actually... And this is where you're going for your investor meeting. You're going to a penthouse suite in the Black Millennium. It's based on the year 2000. Everything inside, it's set to late 1999 music / early 2000s music. It's everything looks like Windows 98. Everything is like a little too poppy in general and like saccharine. That is the theme of this whole casino, and it is pushed to the nines. And where we open is in a place that I'm literally just stealing from another podcast. It's not a storytelling podcast, so I don't feel too bad, and I'm shouting them out. There's also friends of mine. Shout outs to Important If True, which is a podcast on the Idle Thumbs network, in which Chris Remo went on this whole long thing about how a thing you could do now, because technology was getting cheap enough, is just buy a bunch of LCD screens and just plaster them all over everything. You could build a bookshelf out of LCD screens, and like the side of the bookshelf is just super high res bookshelf, like on a display screen. And that is what this penthouse suite is. And on top of that, there are just like big displays that are like showing, a beautiful sunset or birds. It's like walking into like the tech or the TV section of a Best Buy, and it's all nature documentaries on. Do you know what I mean? Except it is like, it's set up in such a way that it is just a rolling spread of a single vista. It isn't just like the same bird 7 times. I've changed my mind. It's the same bird 7 times. It's the same sunset 7 times. And you're there.
This cost a fortune in electricity?
Yeah, sure. This person is very rich. You're here to meet with the owner of the company, who has called you in because he needs to make a decision about whether or not to keep investing in you or to split you off and make you run under your own under your own budget, basically. Like right now, he's been feeding Greysand Paranormal funds every single quarter to keep it operational, and he needs to make a decision about whether or not you're useful and profitable enough to keep as part of his company as a subsidiary, or to spin you off as your own thing, where you'll have to just deal with that. This is the first time you're meeting him. It's the first time you're learning who he is, and I think it's the first time anybody has seen him in a while. His name is Millennium Alexander Black. He was a kind of a folk hero to Bluff City in what would have been the 70s of this world. He has kind of a reputation of being like almost like a blaxploitation character. Like, would roll into town and like make things good and like throw the crooks in jail and, save your brother from the drug dealers, and would beat up those fucking out-of-towners who came in and tried to, push out the local gang and replace them with some other gang. And he would go down to, walk right into City Hall and tell the mayor to stop trying to, take over the land from the local church to try to sell it for a new casino or whatever. Like, he was like that hero. And then he kind of became super reclusive one day, and no one has seen him in years and years and years, and slowly began to build up a fortune until in the last 20 years, he has opened 3 casinos, or bought out 3 casinos and transformed them to be in his image. Also, he is played by like a cross of Wesley Snipes and Keith David. Is like what you can imagine. He's like, what if Wesley Snipes put on a little more weight? Like just thickened up a little bit. And he is like black turtleneck, with white pants, and like glasses with very round frames, just like at the very edge of his nose, and is like looking out at the fake digital sunsets in front of him as you walk past this entire his whole penthouse is these bright digital LCD displays that all have, like, again, Windows 98 style desktop images on them. While, like, some Brian Eno ass shit plays in the background. It's just like, it is atmospheric as fuck. And he's just like, hey, you know, doing the Gendo Ikari, fingertips touching, looking out at his fake sunsets. Maybe they're real sunsets. You don't know. There could be images of real sunsets somewhere else. And that's when you all come in. And he does not turn to look at you. He's in like a big burgundy leather couch. Or like just love seat, basically.
Hey, so remind me again why you guys brought me here?
And you have like a big video camera on your shoulder right now, Sid?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, good.
Well, hello, sir. Thanks for having us. You have such a lovely establishment here.
Appreciated. Could you turn off that camera, Miss Ruiz?
Yeah. Yeah, sure, alright. Sid's like, kind of like, how's he know my name?
I know a lot of things. Been around a minute or two. How's your dad doing? Good carpenter.
I mean, like, he put up our neighbor's kids' like jungle gym the other day. Like, they were pretty happy with that, but it's basically just for him to do since he retired. Anyway, why do you know my dad?
I've been here for a long time, just like the Ruizes have.
Should I tell him you say hi?
Please. Jake the Jackal. Ha! Goddamn! You still got it, boy.
I hope so. I hope so.
Come around, take a seat. And he hits a button, and then just like, and like 7 like panels open up on the side of one of the walls, and then just like a row of chairs slots out alongside a very visible like track that puts them out in front of the, like, they're around him, basically. It's just like a big metal, it's like the sort of like track lighting style track, big and metal and really obvious. And there are now just like 4 extra seats for people to come sit on the other side of him. And you can actually sit down. Like, he hasn't looked at any of you during this. He's looking away from you for this whole scene at this point.
I think she sits down to his like right, like the seat closest to him.
Ms. Baker,
Hi.
tell me how you think things have been going with Greysand Paranormal.
I think that it's been going great, honestly. We've had a pretty stable amount of jobs. I think that Jake has some of the paperwork here, but
Jake, I'd love to see that paperwork.
Jake passes him the clipboard.
Can I get an image of what everyone's wearing for this meeting, by the way?
I think that Alexa frequently dresses very like business casual, but like Clarence at Old Navy sort of. Business casual. Like she has one like office jacket that she wears, or like 2 or 3 that she rotates that are all like really solid. She got them like Lord and Taylor clearance, but the rest is just like very practical khakis and like a tank top or like a shirt that's like kind of like breezy.
Jake and Sid?
I think Jake's got like track pants on and like a tank top that he's probably owned for a few years, and then like a big coat. Like a coat that goes down to his knees.
Okay.
Holy shit!
Is
like
do you sit down in it?
A dark trench coat. Yeah, and he just because he's too big to like sit in like a normal chair. Like I'm really imagining him as like Undertaker size, like that like 6'10" kind of. So he kind of like folds into the chair awkwardly and like. You know, you for all the work WWE's done, you never see the Undertaker just sitting in an office chair. You know,
true enough. Sid,
I think, like I said, Sid didn't really know what was going on here. So they're just kind of dressed like how they normally dress when they go to work, which is very casually. She's wearing like her friend's band's t-shirt and like her like a shitty like this like vest with like some studs that are falling off of it. and just like some jeans. So she's just like, the fuck? Why are we at the casino?
You guys check the company newsletter I mailed out to you once a week. You would know that this meeting was happening.
Use the email.
Fuck. So Mr. Black looks over the clipboard that Jake handed him, and he's like, "Yeah, these are numbers, money, ma'am. But there are things more valuable to a man like me than money. If it was just by the numbers, I got to tell you, I would have shut down Greysand Paranormal a minute or two ago."
Well, it's not just numbers, sir. We're really impacting the community. Just last month we had a woman come in because there was a disturbance in her home that was really affecting the like rescue animals that she was keeping, and we were able to go clean it up, and they're doing fine now. We actually just got a letter from her that she like pulls it out of her purse. It's like it's like a handwritten letter that's like in like very like when you get a letter from your grandmother and you can't even read it because it's like so cursive, and like three like Polaroids of like an old woman in her 70s and like three small dogs. And they're like just like sitting on the couch and like on like a blanket, and they all look really nice, and it's like we help that family.
And he's like, God, sorry, I'm trying to figure out what he's at this point in his life. Where is he? Where is he now with these? He's like, all right, yeah, I know where he's at. He's like, oh yeah, Mrs. Peterson, and the what was that again? Some sort of hobgoblin?
Yeah, it would. It was classified as a goblin. I don't know about a hobgoblin, but you're kind of on the money. It was basically that.
Goblins, you can't trust them. Anyway, I understand that there is service to the community, but there's also, frankly, Bluff City has some things in it that threaten the general stability. And while you've caught some goblins and you've helped out the neighborhoods, no taking away from that, there is this larger picture, and I need to know if you can contribute to that. I'm not taking away the Jersey Devil thing. Listen, I know about the Jersey Devil thing. The whole Eastern Seaboard is in your debt. Do not get me wrong. But I might have something for you that could help me consider my investment. You know about the menagerie? Veranda Casino?
Yeah. Who doesn't?
You ever do any work for those verandas?
Nah, nothing like that.
Yeah. So, just about a week, it's going to be Labor Day. Last big holiday. All season. Supposed to be the case that you run a casino in this town, you're deep in preparation mode. You got acts booked already. You got out-of-towners coming in. You got all the food preparations in order. You've already checked through all your machines, make sure they work right. They shut down a whole floor. And for me, the problem is that floor has a sky bridge connecting to one of my casinos. Which, on paper, that's a problem. You get crosswalk. You get people who go off to the menagerie, and then they cross over to the Black Colossus and keep spending money. But there's a second issue, which is no one knows why they closed it. And my people keep hearing footsteps on the damn bridge. And when we check the cameras, there's nothing to be seen. The doors are also cold or hot to the touch. It fluctuates. And it's one of those things I could take a look at, but I'm a very busy person.
I think that at this point Alexa is like looking around the table and seeing no one else spring to action has like pulled out a notepad and is like footsteps on cold doors and like taking notes.
I know what you want. The man has my clipboard.
He nods and like hands you back the clipboard. So here's what I want. You all go check into this. You figure out what's going on. And things go the right way, I keep my investments rolling. Maybe I double down. Maybe you go from being 10 people to being 20. Sound good?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything for you, sir.
I mean, like, I need to pay for school with this, so sure. 'Cause I don't really want to go work at the McDonald's.
You know, sometimes you double down, and that dealer's got a 3.
What?
Okay, so a double down is a bet you can make in blackjack.
I know what a double...
And if you get a 3, usually you're looking for a big card on that. You're
Right.
doubling like a 10 or an 11. If you got a 3, you got a 13 or a 14. It doesn't beat a lot of hands.
Mr. Black only rolls with big numbers.
Ha
Now, I got business to attend to, and so do you. Stay in touch. And then the chairs begin to like shake and like wait for you to get up so that they can roll back into the side of the wall. And the sun sets and it turns to like as he says, you know, I've got business to attend to. Not all at once, like in staggered, like almost a cascade. It goes from being a sunset to a moonrise. And everyone's lit in this like purple white now instead of in like the orange reds of the sunset.
What the fuck?
All right. Thank you for your time, Mr. Black. We'll take a look at this for you.
Yeah, Mr. Black, thanks for having us. I actually have, and she reaches into her purse and digs around again, and she pulls out a little rock of turquoise, and it's like, here, it'll help balance you for your business.
He looks at it very closely, and then he says, Montgomery, can you take this? And a bald dude comes out wearing a valet uniform, wearing like a red vest with a black bow tie and a white dress shirt and black pants with like a silver platter, and he opens it with the top, like he opens the top of the platter and it's just a silver like mirrored platter for you to put the turquoise on.
And she like sets it down and she's like, there's gonna be a full moon on Saturday, so leave it by a window.
You heard her. And Montgomery is played by the dude who played Cedric Daniels on The Wire. What is his name? Lance Reddick. Lance Reddick.
Yeah.
And he just nods and puts the top of the platter on and then just literally walks it over to an LCD screen, which he lifts up like a window, and it's a window, and then places the whole platter down, and then takes a card out of his inside, like from a vest pocket, and writes Saturday on it and places it next to the platter. And then as you walk out, you notice the front door is also a big LCD screen. So that's it. That's him.
Love it. All the way love it.
Good. All right, so there's our intro scene. Let me just give you the general gist of a job structure at this point. We've got the call already. You get the call, the client makes contact with the job, the usual difficulty. So the difficulty I'm going to set is twice of the franchise score, so the difficulty is 14. I'm going to write this down somewhere. Let's make a new thing here and just boop. Franchise score, 0 of 14. You've got to get that 14. So, the way this game works is you get, as you roll successful dice, or successful rolls, on 5s and 6s, you get franchise points. That's way too big. Make that smaller. There we go. And the way you do that is by rolling as you step through the various structures of the job. There is research and investigation, which is you're doing research and investigation, and then at a certain point you suit up, you get the equipment that you need to take care of the problem, and then you do field work. You travel to the scene and deal with the problem. And that's the basic, and then after that we do cleanup, and then you can go on vacation to kind of chill out and recover. That is like the basic structure of this game. So at this point, like, what do you all do?
Before we
I should also note, Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say if you could repeat the things that he said again, because I said she wrote it down and I super didn't.
Oh,
and I
yes,
should probably
totally.
have it written down.
Sure. The menagerie, do you want to actually write it down? Are you writing it down?
Yeah.
Okay. The menagerie shut down one of its floors, one of its casino floors, the week before a big holiday, which is not what you do. The sky bridge that connects the Black Colossus to the menagerie is shut down as part of this, but people from his side are still hearing people walking across that sky bridge, and then they're feeling the door as being hot and cold. Like extremely hot and extremely cold. And like cameras don't reveal anything. The doors are locked. They could go in, but he told them not to. He's sending you in to do that. There's one more thing I need to explain to you. And maybe it's time to even do one of these. I don't know. There are confessionals in this game. As in reality TV, at any point you can basically look into a camera and have a confessional scene just by yourself, you and the camera. And that can be a comment that you're making later, like documentary style or real world style, where you're like, I don't know why this went wild. I don't know why they did this, but they did this. And the rules around that are, if you're doing this for real, you would be sitting in a special chair. We would literally designate one chair as the confessional chair, and I wish we could do that. I so wish that was a thing we could do. But instead, I have this token in the middle of the thing, the confessional token, which I'm about to make it so that everybody can control it. There we go. And when it's time for you to do a confessional, just grab it and drag it over to your character sheet, basically. You have to address the other players as if they were watching the confessional on television. So it's just like, I look into the camera, or like, you see me do blank. Confessionals should always add. They should never detract from the game. They should never negate something that was already said. So it's not like someone rolls a good success and then you go, oh, I want to do a confessional and say, but what they didn't know was the gun wasn't loaded. Always yes and here. Only one player can give a confessional per scene. So it's one confessional per scene. And then here's the last big thing is the confessionals can be used to do a couple of things. And one of them is they can be used to give characteristics. So for instance, you could use your confessional and say like, the example that they have here is one player could say that another player is flirtatious in their confessional, where they're like, I had no idea that Jake was such a flirt. And then that could give Jake the flirtatious characteristic, which if he then played into, you would get an extra bonus franchise die at the end of the game. You don't have to play into that if you don't want to. You don't have to. Someone could say like, oh yeah, you're really brave, and like, no, I want to play a coward. You're going to get to keep playing a coward. But if you did lean into it, you basically get a bigger reward at the end of the game. And everybody can just get one characteristic per session. So that's the basic gist of confessionals. It's just a thing on the table before we continue. I think all of those rules are also, maybe they're not on I'll make this one thing that's currently just for me viewable by everybody, which has the confessional rules. There we go. Okay. So what do you do? You're in this phase of the game at this point, which is your kind of research and investigation, right? So how do you begin the process of researching this stuff?
Do we want to go talk to someone? We want to go talk to whoever the head of security is over at the menagerie, ask him why they closed that down?
Or we could even talk to which casino was it of?
It's the Black Colossus. It's a Black Colossus and the Menagerie. Those are the two that are in play.
Because they're connected, we could also talk to Black Colossus.
We should talk to both for sure, yeah.
Well, yeah, but they also might be more receptive.
Yeah, exactly.
So where do you go first? Who goes where?
I mean, I think Jake is definitely, if we're going to split up, Jake is going to go to the Menagerie. I think Jake kind of enjoys talking to people who aren't super receptive.
Gotcha. Great. Good.
I can show him some stuff on my clipboard, if you know what I'm saying. I'm going to hit him with a clipboard.
I feel like I also like talking to people who aren't super receptive, because the point is to make them open up.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to hit him with a crystal.
Also a little afraid that you're going to hit someone. Do we need to split up?
You don't need to.
Okay.
I don't need to.
So where do you go first?
I think we should go to the menagerie first. Because whatever bullshit we get from them, we can speak to the people who are going to be open with us about it.
Do you call and make an appointment, or you just walk in?
I would love
It's
to
up
make
to
an
me. We
appointment.
just walk in. Oh, there you go.
All right.
See, I feel like what happens is Alexa's like, "Oh, we should make an appointment," and then Sid and Jake are like, "No, we just fucking surprised them."
All right. So
I feel like Alexa's like, we should make an appointment, and Sid's like, well, we're here.
Oh, God.
because you're driving, right? All right. So you first of all, the parking here is expensive. It's such a pain in the ass. It's like $12 to stay here, which just to park, which is too much money. Actually, no, it's a holiday week, so it's like $15 just to park.
They're charging to park at a casino?
Yeah, dog. You haven't been to a casino in a minute, huh? They charge like $20 on holiday weekends to park at a casino. It's unbelievable.
You're going there to spend money.
Yeah, and you're starting by spending at the fucking parking lot. That's the first place that you spend money.
Shit.
Uh-huh. It's like that, man. Atlantic City is bad. So you head inside, you park, you head inside. The inside of the menagerie, again, is it's themed like an open-aired zoo. And they're constantly just kind of blasting in the sounds of an open-aired, zoo. So it's just caw, caw, caw. It's just animal noises with, a kind of... I think, the musical background in the menagerie is, vaguely colonial. Do you know what I mean? It's a mix of shitty, quote-unquote, tribal drums with, the sorts of music that what safari people would listen to. And the decor is, lots of jungle painted on lots of, jungle murals with, very cartoonish tigers looking out. Lots of gates, golden gates that, are supposed to be cages, but they're, they've never closed. They're just plastered onto the side of a wall or stapled into the side of a wall. There is there all of the parts of the casino, all of the different wings are named after different places in the world where animals are from. So it's the Serengeti casino floor. The the name of the theater is the Amazon Theater or whatever. That's how it's set up. Go ahead.
A touchstone here is definitely the Rainforest Cafe, right? It's that sort of vibe.
100%.
Okay.
1 billion%. Yes. That is exactly it. Totally. What's another good play? What's the name of the floor that got shut down?
Ooh. It's parts of the world or
yeah, parts of the world. It's all named after specific parts of the world where there are
It's the Sahara Terrace.
Right, exactly. That is not the name of this specific one. But that's a place in here for sure. I'm looking at all of the... Go ahead.
Is there a place in the world where there's a bridge or a pathway? Should it be
It doesn't have to. That place existed before the Sky Bridge existed.
Okay, yeah, fair.
You know what? Maybe it's is there a term for the Pacific Islands or that region? Maybe it's the Polynesian level.
Ooh.
And it's all tropical themed. But that's all blocked off. The escalator up isn't working, and there are stops there. The elevator skips that floor, and there are there's a security guard stationed at the stairwells that would take you up.
Oh, do you know why I really like that? Because maybe the Sky Bridge is designed to be one of those when you're in an aquarium and you have the hallway where the sharks are above you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. But it's outside. It's a sky bridge. It's not an underwater. There can't also be a shark.
No, but it's screens that are
unless,
oh, you're at the,
okay.
Yeah, you're at the island.
Or it could be a sky bridge that has an aquarium around it.
See? That seems dangerous and really hot.
No sharks, but
the
fish.
Golden Nugget has that.
What?
In Vegas.
What?
Or maybe it's a slide. You can go through a slide through a shark aquarium. And then at the
I see it. Why do they have this?
Because it owns.
Oh yeah,
They're not
okay.
on the strip and they got to get you over there?
Oh yeah, that adds up too. Okay, fair.
Ooh.
This is weird. I'm watching it. I'm watching it happen right now. I'm watching a GoPro of Zoe's Golden Nugget Shark Tank pool experience. There's a slide. It's a slide. I hate this. Okay, anyway. Sure. There's one of those. Where do you go? So now you're in the menagerie. I've set up what the menagerie looks and sounds like.
Do we want to go to like
I mean, I sort of feel like we should go to like a security desk that's like on the floor and be like, we want to talk to the head of security, and then like leverage the fact that we could create a scene to kind of like get there.
Yeah.
I want you to know this is a bad plan. I want you to know that I know that this is a bad plan.
Yeah, you can totally do that. So there is like a kind of a heavyset dude with my build, in a suit, like in a security guard suit. You know, do you know what I mean when I say that? I feel like I just realized like I've spent a lot of time in casinos, and that gives me a distinct like shortcut to thinking about this stuff. Where like this guy has a suit on, but he's a security guard, which means it also just has like a shitty badge like sewn into the lapel of the suit. His shirt is like a little too tight. God, what the fuck is the name of this actor who I have in my head? Heavy Hispanic actor, comedic actor.
George Lopez? No.
Nope.
But not, what's that guy's name? I keep wanting to say Enrique Iglesias. And
Not
that's
him. No, it's not him. Not Gabriel Iglesias either.
Okay.
Not that
but that's
heavy.
definitely not that
He's like
heavy.
an actor. He's like an actor first, and he's done some serious roles. The fuck
But not Carlos Pena. He's too skinny, right?
I don't know. Let me see. That's not him. No, not Carlos Pena. He was like in the 80s and the 90s, like fairly... he was in a bunch of stuff.
I'm out of my depth.
Fuck.
What was
like if
a
you knew
thing
something
he
he
was
was like
you
vaguely
know.
knew about something he was in.
I can't... Oh my god, it's right on the tip of my tongue. I hate this.
And it's not Danny Trejo.
It's not. Luis Guzman is who I'm thinking of.
Oh,
okay.
sure.
Yeah, it's him.
Okay.
And ironic because the name I had in my head for this character was already Luis, so his name is Luis Puma, like the cat. And that's what he says when he meets you. He says, Puma, like the cat. What can I help you with?
So we are on here on behalf of the Greysand Paranormal. What are we called?
That's it.
Investigations.
Investigators. And she pulls out like a little business card and like puts it on his like security desk stand and slides it over. And just had some questions. I was wondering if we could speak to the head of security, unless that's you, in which case, nice to meet you.
If it was me, I wouldn't have such bad loans to pay off.
Yeah, well, loans, am I right?
Sid gives a thumbs up from behind the camera.
Oh my god. What? Do you have a permit? Did somebody give you a permit to film here?
Yep.
Well, that's part of why we would like to speak to the head of security.
I'm gonna need you to turn off the camera, ma'am.
All right. Sid turns it off. And by that turns it off, I mean hits the button and then covers the light up until he
Alright.
notices and then actually turns it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I can help you with whatever it is you need. You know, I don't need you to talk to anybody else. I'm a professional. I've been here for 30 years. You just let me know what you need. And
Wow.
the Puma's got you.
We want to know about the closed floor.
He, like, looks back and forth and leans forward. It's closed.
That ain't it.
But thank you. We understand that it is closed. We were mostly wanting to know like why, and
Renovations.
Jake starts like talking louder, like loud enough that people nearby can hear. Like, that ain't what I hear happened. I hear someone got hurt up there. I heard there's a cover up for some robberies going on in here.
Give me a contact roll. Jesus Christ. Oh my
wow.
fucking God. He rolled 2
Holy
6s.
shit.
Wowee.
Okay. Calm down. There was a robbery upstairs, in a sense. They were, the people were robbing us blind. All those machines kept winning. And we got new machines, and they kept winning. And we got in new machines. And let me tell you, and he like leans forward and like grabs you by the leather trench coat collar and pulls you down to his level. They kept winning. We don't know what's going on. We're looking into it, but we can't go into the biggest holiday of the rest of the year with everybody winning. That's not how casinos work. Also, you rolled a 6, so I should actually note something. So you actually described 2 facts that directly lead to solving the case. I should not have given you that. I'm like so used to playing the other way. So that's one of the facts. I'll let you give the other fact, and then you get 2 franchise dice. So that number goes up to 2. So what's the other thing he gives you?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking.
It is the rules of the game to ask. I should not have given you anything. You're supposed to come up with this shit.
I'm stalling. I don't have anything.
Okay. People can suggest stuff.
All I know is that Alexa pulled out her notepad and wrote "winning" with 3 exclamation points next to it. Maybe.
Oh, okay. The graveyard custodians, the people who clean up at night, not like people who clean up a literal graveyard.
Uh-huh.
I just want to make sure that we all know there's not a graveyard in this hotel.
Right. Not this one.
Not this one. Definitely one of the others. They couldn't shake this smell, and it was like, you ever driven past like a bakery that was making cakes, like that, like overwhelmingly sweet smell.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there ain't a bakery in that part of the hotel.
Right.
There's a bakery behind the buffet, and they don't make cakes at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Good. And he's just like, oh. He takes off his jacket and puts it down. Puts it like over. He has like a bar stool style seat. Like it's a seat. It's a bar seat. You know what I mean? It's like raised, but it's like a little seat. And he puts it over there and he just steps down off of it. You know, I work security. I'm not cut out for the bakery smells or luck. I'm not a lucky. I don't deal with luck. I deal with someone comes in and they are cheating. I toss them out. That I can do. I don't have to deal with this.
I mean, is it just affecting the machine? Do people up there like also have good luck? Like if you're up there and you're playing like a cell phone game, does that also win?
A cell phone? Like if you... we didn't do any... we didn't... He's like holding down one of his nostrils and just sighing out of the other side of his nose. Very... Oh, my name's the Puma, but sometimes I get to be like a bull. Maybe they're testing that now. I don't know. You shouldn't bother them.
Oh, are there researchers up there?
Of course, we're trying to figure out why everybody's winning.
Well, we're also here to figure it out. Please calm down. We're trying to help.
Did you hire those Trenton boys?
I didn't hire anybody. But
oh my goodness,
that's not me. That's not on me. That you talk to Angelica. Maybe she hired some people. I don't know. I do my job. I come in every day. I clock in. I push the buttons. I sit here. I look at the monitors. I say, hey, you shouldn't know. No, that's what I do. That's my job. And someone else comes in. They want to investigate it. That's fine. That's on them.
Louise, can I say something?
Anything.
Thank you for coming in here and doing your job every day. Security is very important.
That's what I'm saying.
But
how you doing? I slipped right in. I just didn't mean to even be there, but all of a sudden, he transformed into chubby Latino Enzo Amore.
You know what? Enzo Amore is always just going to be on the side of the screen here.
Yes, absolutely.
He's going to be there to grab too.
Mm-hmm.
And, sir, we also are passionate about our jobs. We fulfill an important role, and if you, I know that you're not the head of security, but you are obviously established here, and if you have the authority to let us up there, we want to help you with this as well.
Give me a contact roll.
I would love to.
3d6. Hey, that's a 6. Yeah. So I'll increase this franchise score to 3. Okay, no, actually to 4. All right, so you tell me 2 facts that lead to solving the case. I think this could be a transition too. I think you can transition into that scene, right?
Yeah, for sure. So the establishment of like the question I think is true, but that might just be another fact onto the first one, which is like, Alexa pulls out her cell phone and pulls up like a gacha game.
Right.
Does a roll and gets like a super platinum.
Right. Can we actually see that happen as like he's like, follow me, and then he leads you to the escalator, and like in broad daylight he just like turns a key that turns the escalator on and like shuffles one of the blockers off, and you're playing the gacha game, and it's like you've opened the box, right? You've opened whatever the gacha is, and the first 3 things that come out are just like common, and it's like ultra platinum extra roll, ultra platinum extra roll, and you just like keep getting the thing. That's perfect. All right, so that's 1. So yes, it applies to everything up here, not just to the machine games.
Okay. And for the second one, I am up to suggestions.
One thing I'll give you straight away is that Trenton team is here, which is that's not a fact that leads to solving the case. But like, if you want to see them doing something, you can see them doing something, and then like learn something from that.
Yeah, I would love to one up them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe that's not like a result, but I would love to like overhear one of them be like, oh, I just checked out that hallway, and like, there might be something over there, and then like we go down there before them and like do a thing. I don't know.
I mean, it could just be the thing you find. Like that's the whole thing here, right? Is you can totally go all the way to that. Which is a weird thing about this game. Like, I don't know what's in that hallway.
Yeah. Man, what kind of ghosts are luck monsters?
They could be leprechauns.
I was going to say leprechauns, but I didn't want to. But they could be leprechauns.
All right, so yeah, maybe you just hear. All right, so have y'all run into the Trenton people before?
Probably, yeah. And I want them to just be like, I don't know. I just want them to be like, I want them to have all the technology. I want them to be like, I want them to be
like if you're Ghostbusters, they're Men in Black, right? Like,
but they're like Men in Black meets the Best Buy Geek Squad.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. There are. Have you met them before? Because I'll give you names if you've met them before.
Sure. I would love to have some names. So.
All right. So there's
Sid
3.
hasn't.
Okay, there's 3 of them.
These 2 have.
One of them is a lady you have not met before. She's like a black lady with like straight black hair or straight brown hair. Actually, this is Bluff City. It's straight like red hair, like dyed red, a la like 2002 like hip-hop R&B performer. Do you know what I mean? Like, she definitely has like a Mary J. Blige cut right now. And she is in like a white shirt with a black tie and a black skirt. And y'all don't know her. You do know Jacob Vander. He doesn't have, it's just Jacob Van and Der. There's no third. It's not Vander whatever. It's just Jacob Vander. And he is like, he's basically like current Dawson. What the fuck is Dawson's name? What's the actor for Dawson from Dawson's Creek?
James Vanderbeek.
Jason. Oh, right. Yeah, he's James Vanderbeek. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Funny. But like the way he looks on CSI technology, CSI hacking, CSI
Cyber.
CSI Cyber?
Thank you.
Yeah. Come on.
CSI Cyber. I'm writing that down.
Classic.
Oh, it's a classic. All right. The name of this crew, by the way, is the Trenton Paranormal Investigators.
Holy shit.
And then the third one is, and he's also in khaki slacks with a white shirt, like a white button-up shirt. And he has on, what type of tie does he have?
They have like a uniform, right? Like,
Yeah.
they're all
I think
wearing...
it's just like the same colors and the same. But I really want that Geek Squad vibe here too.
Right, like they should be wearing white shirts with like a blue tie that is like, it's like navy on the top and then like fades into like a lighter blue at the bottom.
Perfect.
And they each have like badges that mean nothing. Like
right, absolutely. Right, like one of them is the metaphysics, expert, and one of them is like, I guess it's a casino-based thing, right? So it is probably like they have a person who's just dedicated to luck. A not just like luck inspector, like luck.
Luck inspector's good though.
Yeah, but I think it's broader than that, right? So I think it's just actuary. I think one of them is just an actuary. It's like someone who understands risk and chance. Like there's like the equivalent actually of the chief risk officer here. And then the third one is older, same exact outfit, like looks like someone who is in the Best Buy Geek Squad and who has been there for like maybe a decade too long. And that is John Paul St. James. He goes by Luke.
okay.
And he's like 42, 43. He has a beard. His hair is long, but in a it's like back in a ponytail. Like he keeps it clean. So yeah. Art says, "I'm Chance Inspector, and I'm the Chance Inspector." Good. Also, Andy says they understand chance, CHANTS, in addition to chance. They're multifaceted. Good. Perfect.
Can I be like Facebook friends with some of them?
Yeah, totally. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I think John Paul sees you and calls you over. And I think, the thing you overhear is the black lady, whose name is Mint Mocha. She says, leprechauns. Haven't been leprechauns in Jersey in 17 years. And that's when y'all come up the escalator, and that's when Luke, John Paul St. James, sees you. And he's like, "As I live and breathe, if it isn't Alexa Baker, come here, give me a hug, Baker."
Hi. Then she comes over and gives him a hug. I didn't know that you guys would be here. Hey.
Jacob is like, "You're not on this case. They didn't put you on this case. You're not on this case."
We are. We were contacted by a different establishment to investigate it, and of course,
y'all don't have clearance, says Mint.
Louise Puma gave us clearance on behalf of the menagerie.
Well, just don't get in our way, says Jacob.
Jacob.
Calm down, everybody. Calm down. We're all here We're all here to investigate the paranormal, to root out any unkind spirits, and to make sure everybody has a damn good day.
Exactly.
That's a good thing that was said, because Jake's eyes went wide, his nostrils flared, and he was told he shouldn't be up here. He got like the full on like, "Ooh, this is going down."
I think Jacob has like makes eyes with you, like angry eyes. Oh. He's ready to go, but his sort of anger, not the, well, maybe down the road, who knows? But right now, it's the other eyes. It's the eyes that are like, "You don't belong here, Jake. There's only room for one Jake name here who hunts ghosts, thank you." In fact, I think he says, like, he looks you right in the eyes, and he goes, "Don't you have some people to be body slamming, Jackal?"
You might have heard there's a lot of luck up here, but there ain't enough for you to try me, boy.
And he like starts to undo his tie a little bit.
And Jake just like makes himself big, like he just kind of like stands all the way up.
When you do that, he unclips his tie and throws it down.
I grabbed the confession token real quick. It's just like a cut of Sid. Like I think they filmed this like in the floor of the in like a lounge in the casino, and it's just Sid clearly has like set up the camera on like a table himself, and it's just like. So I didn't expect Jake to be wearing his tights underneath his clothes.
Oh my god!
But then again, I didn't expect to have this job at all this summer, so this is where we are at this point.
God.
So we cut back, and Jake's jacket is on the ground. He's taken his sleeveless shirt off, and you can see that under it he is wearing like he didn't take his pants off. He's not like a weirdo. But you can see that he is. It's the top of a singlet under it, like one of those like deep cut, like like what the Undertaker wears. Don't make me just.
I got you. Yes.
Yeah.
And
like
Jake Vander is just like he goes to like shoulder charge you in the like abdomen region.
Oh, what the fuck!
Like it's on. He threw down his clip-on tie. He busted open his like $12 Boskov shirt. He's ready to go. And he has a shirt on underneath too, and it's a big dog shirt, and it says "I'm the big dog here," and then there's a big dog underneath it, and then there's more, and then there's another line of text, and it just says "Any questions?" and it's underlined 6 times.
I think I'm just gonna give him a lariat.
Okay, give me an athletics roll.
I think I might just want to take 4 on it. Because,
sure.
I'm not leading to us solving the case by putting this guy on the ground.
No.
The negative aspect of it is I break his nose. He's just, like, bleeding everywhere now. Like, now this is escalated.
Right. Hey, I'm going to say Sid and Alexa, give me stress rolls.
Sure, how do I do that?
Just one stress.
Wait,
just
why?
roll 1d6. You didn't expect to just, like, run into some bloody nonsense here. All right, so, Alexa, you're going to lose 1 die for the next roll that you make.
Okay.
You're 1 die stress penalty for the next roll. It doesn't apply to one of your skills permanently. It just whatever your next roll is minus 1 die. So make a note of that somewhere.
All right.
Sid, it is your first day on the job, basically. You have to lose 1 die from the appropriate skill for the rest of the case.
All right, what would the appropriate skill here be?
I don't know. I could see a case for contact. I could see a case for athletic. Like I could see a case for like academics, athletics, or contact. But you just tell me how or why it is.
I think what ends. Okay, I have an idea for what happens. Is when this is going down. Sid has like left the camera a little bit behind them and is like scrambling to get it, and they trip and twist their ankle.
Okay.
And so she's got like a -1 on athletics from now on.
All right, so make that a 1 athletics instead of a 2. This is effectively the way damage works in this game, so to speak. You won't die from this at any point. In fact, we didn't go out of our way. There's a rule in this game that says, hey, can characters die? If so, you get bonus points at the end to invest in your company, but we didn't say yes, so no one's dying this game. But this is kind of like how you take damage, so to speak, through the course of a game. Things get harder for you. So that's good. You win that fight, though, Jake. Also, I don't know that we said it on the recording or not, but take 4 is if you have a 4 in a stat, you could just say, I take a 4. Even though if I'd rolled it, I might be able to get higher. There's always the chance that you could roll 3 1s into 2, and that would suck. So there you go. That's you win that fight. What's the what else happens here? Like, what do you do? This guy's knocked out on the ground at this point, or maybe he, like, scrambles back up and away and like grabs his shirt and puts it back on.
Or maybe he uses his shirt to sop up the blood.
Yeah, I think so. I think that might be it. Like, Jesus Christ! And John Paul St. James, don't take the Lord's name in vain. Everybody calm down. Now, it's just everything. We're all gonna calm down. We're gonna work this case. We're gonna stay out of each other's way. Sound good?
Yeah, I'm sorry about this. Don't challenge us though, please, because things happen, and okay, I'll see you around. Friday's next week.
Friday's next week.
Okay, see you then. It was great seeing you. And she's just like retracting. She's
Hey, one more thing though. You're the one who's gonna get the Jack Daniels chicken strips though this time.
Yes.
Okay.
One Jack.
And we're even.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right.
See you, mall cops.
They like leave, so you kind of push them out of this place actually. So now you have the run of this floor for now.
Okay. Leprechauns. Man, I think that...
Like, we can play fast and loose. Remember, you don't have to actually stay here and do more. Like, you can do...
Yeah.
Again, like think about this in terms of these phases of like research and investigation, which includes being, researching at a place. It means going to a library. It means checking the internet. It means talking to people, suiting up, which means going to get equipment to take care of that problem. I don't know that you know what that equipment is quite yet necessarily, if there's extra equipment. And then there's the like go deal with the problem. But you're up here. You could just go look at stuff. It's up to you.
I feel like it's early to go look in the walkway, right? But like, I want to look in the walkway.
You're up here.
I kind of want to use our like computer thing to get like, like out readings or whatever. The way I have this like in my head is that like it either like is a thing that turns like a game's like random generated fights thing into like not being able to see them to being able to see them, or like or like it's a sage thing and like we sit down and we wait 10 minutes and then like areas where like there's like dense psychic power or whatever have like a smoke or whatever, and whichever people at the table like more, we could say is the thing that'll happen here. But
I think the second one's a little funnier.
Okay. Yeah, is that just a technology roll?
Yeah, that's a technology roll.
Okay. Does anyone want to assist?
So I should talk about how assisting works.
Okay.
Assisting is kind of unique here. It is not as simple as just like, oh, you get an extra die because you describe a thing. Let me find the actual write-up of how it works so that I can give you more than just, it's weird. So first of all, it has to be before you make the roll. So teamwork. All right, here we go. You can also improve your chances by acting as a team. The other players may announce assisting actions and roll their skill dice as normal. After this is done, they give you any of the dice that they rolled, even if their action was a failure, and you get to use the value rolled on that dice. Players do not have to use the same skill in order to help out. Their actions can simply give their teammate an advantage. If a teammate has announced their intent to help out, he or she must hand over a die to the other player, even if the die is less than desired result. For obvious reasons, characters with a skill of 1 can only hand over their single die if they choose to take an automatic failure on their own action. So I'm going to read this example because it helps put in perspective what this might look like on screen. The professor is examining an occult tome, trying to remember his ancient Sumerian before some demons can knock down his hastily constructed barricade. Joe announces that she is going to help him by blasting a few of the hell-spawned creeps. Joel rolls her athletics skill and gets a 1, a 4, and a 5. She takes the 5 as a success and blasts apart one of the demons. Although not a great roll, she gives the 4 to the professor, hoping that his academics roll works out. If the professor's roll is less than a 4, he can then use Joe's loaned 4 to score at least a partial success. Just then, Barry grabs his shotgun and hurries over to assist Joe and the professor. Barry's not that great a shot to begin with. He's got an athletic score of 2, and he's a bit hurt from a previous encounter, giving him a 1-die penalty to this action. Still, he gives it the old college try, rolls his 1 die, and scores a 3. Because he has to give up his only die to Joe, he automatically fails. Duh, nice going, Bear. Joe rolls her eyes as Barry trips over his shoelaces and falls headfirst into the barricade. So you kind of have to say, like, okay, what am I specifically doing to help the other person go do their thing? Like, what other thing am I taking care of while they do it? You know?
Okay, fair.
Which means you can help. It just means, like, let me know what that looks like.
Okay.
You can have my 1 die. I don't know what this.
I mean, again, you could roll other things. You could. It doesn't have to be the technology roll.
Oh, sure.
It just means, like, how are you helping her do that? Like, what's the other thing that you're doing while helping?
I guess nothing. I'll just roll it.
All right.
Okay.
Well, because you're only rolling 1 die, we gotta help you.
Wait, no, she's rolling.
I'm rolling 2
isn't
and
she?
I got
Oh no,
5.
you're not. You're not. You're not. You have that stress.
Okay. Should I just roll 1 again, or are we gonna?
No, we should take that first roll.
Okay.
So that's a 2.
Okay.
All right. That means I get to say a thing. The GM decides your fate. So what do you? Tell me the thing that you're doing.
So I'm turning on the like computer
The
thing.
machine.
I think she like sets it down and like in the middle of the floor on like a table. And she has like a piece of tiger's eye that she's kind of sanded to look like a USB thing and plugs it into a port that's just
Nice.
a USB charging port. She's like, no, but it helps.
Well, okay, so it starts to glow. The crystal does. So roll stress, because that has never happened before. And that means that something supernatural is definitely happening here. It starts to glow like this bright color. All right, so 3 on stress means lose 1 die for the appropriate skill for the rest of the case.
Oh, God.
You tell me which. And then the second thing that happens is, so how does it detect stuff again? Like when it knows that there's something here, what's the thing that happens?
I was gonna it's not like a mist that comes out of it, but once it detects something, it turns into like maybe like a purple smoke.
Okay.
It's like, oh, we should look over there for like whatever this thing is.
Well, so it's like, oh, there's a hit. There's something supernatural here. And then like, oh, there's a hit. There's something supernatural here. And then it hits again and again and again. It's super platinum hits. It's super lucky. And the purple smoke starts pouring out of this machine. Like, there's no way that machine has that much purple smoke juice in it. Like, there's no way. And the whole floor just gets it's like someone burnt a steak up here. Just smoke everywhere, and it smells like it. Also, by the way, you smell that cake smell up here that you described before, that Luis described to you before, and so it's just like fog machine cake smell mixed with fog machine gross burnt steak smell coming from this machine, and the whole place is just. And then the sprinklers turn on from all the smoke. And everyone just gets soaked, and the fire alarm goes off, and they have to.
We gotta get out of here right now.
Yeah.
Jake like snaps up the computer and like kind of like picks Alexa up by like the middle of her jacket, like, and as like, we're getting out of here, and heads toward the probably the back stairs.
Sounds good. Yeah, totally. Unless you want to see more stuff, you can just cut ahead to some other point. But if you want to find something maybe on the way out, then we can stay kind of moment to moment.
I can't think of anything to do in here.
No, I think we should. I think we should like go do like a research on Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do we just cut to a scene of y'all back in the actual like headquarters, back in the office, like with a pizza? And you're all still wet from the sprinklers, or you're drying off?
Yeah. Or maybe it's like a couple hours later, and like Alexa's blazer and Jake's like jacket are hanging up on like
Perfect
in the corner, like drying off, and we have like a meeting room. It was the old H&R Block, like they take you in there to like talk about your finances or whatever, but It's like a meeting room with like a book on Irish folklore, a book on like luck.
I have an idea for something.
Sure.
So Sid, like I said, tried to turn the camera on for that the fight that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's gonna want to check if they got any footage at all.
Oh,
That's a good call.
Yes.
Give me that technology check.
All right.
3d6. Right?
I just want to scene paint real quick.
Yeah, sure.
I just want to make it clear that because they got wet, Jake has just taken his track pants off and now is just in wrestling trunks.
God, good.
It's like mid-thigh.
God. Perfect. Maybe that's what I have a question. Is there a laundromat in this strip mall too?
Yes.
Because then we can get the opening shot of Jake like walking back with a laundry ticket in his wrestling singlet down the out, like past the, like we just see the long shot of him leave the laundromat, walk like one take, walk down one thing to go into the pizza place, comes out with a pizza still in his wrestling singlet, his hair is still wet, walks down one more and then turns and goes into the Greysand Paranormal, where you can still see on the sign, you can still see the H&R Block on the other side of the sign. Y'all didn't get a new sign. Y'all just like painted the empty side of that sign to say Greysand Paranormal.
And because he feels like too exposed in his wrestling gear, Jake's wearing like a baseball cap because like, it makes him look incognito. And it's just for like whatever like the minor league baseball team in this town is.
We have a name for them now. We figured this out a while ago. Fuck, what are they? There's some sort of octopus thing, right? Oh, we figured this out and I've since forgotten. Oh, this is the worst. I hate this. Anyway.
It's an octopus thing? Well, whatever. if it's in the other episode, people will know when they
Well,
hear
no,
this.
we figured it out after. We have a message from Janine that said, I'm mad at myself at 3 a.m. for not using that fiasco game to define a shitty local sports team. So I think we have the opportunity to do that now. I think we wanted it to be an octopus of some kind. It's a hat with a big octopus on it, smiling.
All right. The Atlantic City Surf, for the record, have a pretty cool logo.
Yeah, that's true. I've been to a surf game. It was fun. Yeah, a couple of them. They also did like haunted houses in the inside of the Atlantic City Surf Stadium every year. It's neat. It's a neat thing. Anyway, what's their mascot? Their mascot is named Splash. That's bad. Allie linked an octopus. I'm clicking this octopus. Oh my god.
It's the World Cup octopus.
Is that Gus? What was that World Cup octopus's name? It was a G name. Gascoigne? No.
No, that's nope.
Is that
Oh
blood?
my God,
that Bloodborne? Paul. It was Paul.
So not a G name.
Well, it's a different language, so it could have been.
Alexa is currently reading a stack of printed out articles about that octopus to see if like the luck juice infected his.
Oh my god, that's amazing. God. Okay. Anyway, what did you roll in technology? 5? You got a 5.
I got a 5, so it's one
which-
fact that directly leads to solving the case, and one franchise die.
Yep. I upped that franchise score to 5. So
I think what happens is we get like Sid's just like in the corner, basically making sure the camera's not broken from the water, and just kind of like rewinding idly. And I think it's actually the fight happened like right by where the walkway is, right?
Yes, totally.
So I think it's actually during the fight she sees it's not quite leprechaun sized. It's like
What's
this
that mean?
weird like
Wait, what's that?
you know what I
mean?
mean? Like small. Like it's not small. Like it's not little. It's not
Right.
it's not like little. It's not like a gnome. It's not like a gnome. You know, like leprechauns are because they're little. Come on. Everybody knows this. Watch a Lucky Charms commercial.
God.
Anyway, it's like an appendage, like it kind of like a foot, but it looks weird. Like it's like it doesn't look human, and it's just like slipping behind something.
Okay.
It's like slipping behind the door, and I think it's green, is what it is.
Okay.
And Sid doesn't know what the fuck, but she knows that there's something weird there.
So green foot is what we can write down as a clue.
Green
Little
non-human
green
foot.
Green, not a foot.
Yeah, like it's got like like something that could be fingers or toes, but they're not right. Is how I describe
Like, are they
them.
Are they too long?
I think they're like long and kind of like curly.
Is it like a plush 4-leaf clover?
What?
There are 4 of them actually. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
creepy. Okay,
Yeah.
I can get with this. Okay, so that's a little added fact. Is it plant-like, or is it? Or is
It
just
actually
their
like
form?
like to go with the 4-leaf clover thing. It's not quite plant-like, but like there's like the shape of the like weird toes, like when they balloon out, like when they come out towards the end, they're kind of shaped like a clover leaf.
Ooh. Okay. Good. Do you show everybody? Do you like?
Oh hell yeah!
Is there a printout for this? Like, or do you just show them on like an old CRT? Like, what's the?
I think it's literally like on the viewfinder.
Okay.
It's like just look at this.
Oh yeah.
Like
you flip it
immediate,
around
like-
the other way. She flips it around to show the good.
like she basically like. I like to think it's like a laptop or something that Alexa's on looking at the weird octopus. She just like closes it and puts the camera on top of the laptop and is like, no, look at this.
This is important.
Yeah, maybe the closing shot is like a wide shot of all of us doing our own thing, and then we like look to the screen, and then it shows like whatever the fuck this is on the
Right.
to the
Oh,
viewer camera, and it's like the closing shot is whatever the fuck this weirdo thing is.
Do you want to not? I thought you were looking at books. I want to make sure we don't forget that you're looking at books before we wrap.
Okay, do you want me to roll that?
I kind of do. That feels like academics to me.
3d6.
3d6. Yeah.
So
What was your last? Someone you took one away from technology,
Yes,
right?
yes,
From that last thing. Okay,
yes.
cool. Oh yeah, there's another 5. So that franchise score is now at 6. So what do you find? Like, so you look up like that, and then like the camera pans down to whatever's on your book.
Oh god, okay. It's it's one of those like folklore books. And it's like a sea creature that was like, there's like a whole story about how it was like hurting this town or whatever, and like the townspeople like fought it, and like it went to the sea and like whatever, and then like on the book is open, and then over the page right next to it is a like printout of like a weird like sea creature that walked up on shore that like nobody knows what it is, and the printout is from like a month ago.
It's like, is it like from the Bluff City Current? Like,
yes,
it's from the newspaper,
exactly.
basically? Yeah. Perfect. Good. It's like, no one knows what this mysterious thing, like, it's the front page.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Sorry, I have to go real deep. All right, so here's what you need to know. You know the dude at the end that used to be alive, and he was on the end of 60 Minutes? Andy Rooney. There was like a local Andy Rooney in Atlantic City named Pinky Kravitz.
Holy fuck.
Which is a real name. That's his real name, and he's like
That's
a
a
shitty, like neoconservative, like respectability politics. Like, you need to in the good old days, like very much that. And I want it to be it's like a blurry picture, and then it's literally basically a column from whatever this columnist, whose name I don't have right now. Actually, wait, let me look at my list of names. I don't have a good name for him. Sadly, I don't. Does anybody else have a good name for this shitty columnist?
It's
Stinky Kravitz.
Nathan Kravitz. Kravitz works.
We can't just take the real one's last name. That's how we get sued.
Nathaniel.
Definitely Nathaniel.
Nathaniel Bridges.
Okay, Bridges. And it's just like,
Wait, isn't that?
wait.
Oh, never mind.
What?
That would be Nat Bridges, which made me think of Nash Bridges, but that's not. Never mind.
It's actually, he prefers Nath. He prefers Nath. His name is Nathaniel, and the way he abbreviates it is Nath. Thank you very much. And it's him. It's like, in the old days, it used to be the case that when something mysterious washed ashore, everybody dropped what they were doing to make sure that the community was okay. But this year, a strange creature washed ashore, and no one batted an eyelash. That's because they were looking at their phones. These days, millennials just don't care about strange creatures and esoteric phenomena. They're too busy on the Facebook. And that's why this city is going to hell. And that's the name of the column. It's called This City is Going to Hell. And it's a weekly column from Nathaniel Bridges.
Holy fuck.
And it is just a strange sketch of the sea creature that clearly has 4 toes, just like in the image that Sid captured. Any parting words? Any parting confessional?
It's still like he's still wearing the hat. He's like you can see the pizza behind him, and it's if I'd known then. Oh no, this has to be way later. So this is way later. This is from a long time from that. It's like, if I'd known then what I know now, I would have gone in the ocean, seen if I could washed up somewhere better than here.